Hey there, Fit Fam. Welcome to the only podcast where we're breaking the mold and rewriting the rules. I'm here to debunk the myths, spill the tea, and serve a hefty dose of reality. No matter where you're at in your journey, we've got something for everybody. So buckle up because we're about to unleash the basics in the most unapologetic way possible. From shedding pounds to embracing your inner badass, I'm here to remind you that skinny is so last season and the basics are anything but boring. So grab your favorite piece of protein and your water bottle and get ready to be empowered, entertained, and educated because being a basics bitch has never looked this good. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Don't Call Me Skinny. Thanks so much for joining me today. Of course, I have another great episode here coming as the Confidence Corner continues. We are talking today. I have Vicki back with me in studio. This is not a studio. This is an office makeshift studio. But anyway, we're
tell them that it's a fancy studio.
It is fancy. We have headphones on. We have fancy fucking mics, and we did our official mic check of 1, 2, 6, 7 from high school. So the way I see it is, this is very official, actually. Anyways, that's just
it works.
It works, absolutely. Okay, so today we are talking back in the Confidence Corner. We keep sending memes back and forth to each other about things that we want to talk about, and I am super cool and lost all of our notes that we took the brainstorming session and cannot find them because that's like so me, typical. I'm a writer, and I finished that notebook, and I don't know where that notebook is. So
that's all right. There's always something we can talk about.
There is, and we are talking about that today. And I think I'm going to start out with this, is that we had been talking how long prior to the first episode, like, hey, I need to get you on my podcast. How long did we talk about that?
Had to have been at least 6 months.
At minimum.
To a year.
Minimum, right?
Yeah.
So what we're talking about today is taking action and how you gain confidence from that. And we debated, well, we didn't even debate. Like we said, oh, we're going to do this. And then we never did it. Mm-hmm. And then we just put it off or whatever. And then it was like, hey, when are we doing this? I was like, oh, that's right. We really need to do this. And then we just put a date down.
Yep.
And we're like, it's time. We're just doing this. That's a high, right there is a case in point of how confidence comes from just doing the thing, taking action. Even just me starting a podcast was very scary. And I just, let's fucking go. Let's rip it. Let's do it.
Right.
And that was after a long time of not wanting to do it, or just hesitating, nobody will listen. Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, I was a little nervous to come on here and do it too. Yeah.
But then now, how do you feel?
Now I'm like, yeah, we're doing an episode. I'm so excited.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So that's how I feel every week. So first of all, if you don't know, Vicki, I'll let you just kind of do a mini recap of who you are, what you do, and all things.
Yes. Hello there.
Hello.
So I am a stylist for an activewear line called Zaya Active. I've been doing it now for over 5 years, and I've created a pretty strong following on Instagram as well as in Facebook. And I help style women and help women, find clothing that fits for them, works for them, but also too, my jam and my passion is helping women feel confident in who they are and the way they look at themselves in the mirror. Inspiring them as we're getting older, moving into our 40s. I've had 2 kids. I've had weight gain and weight loss and weight gain and weight loss, ups and downs, and really just accepting your body and who you are, and doing that all with sass and make people laugh and humor and showing
sing-alongs.
I sing in my stories, so if you want to follow me, you can see it's called Vicki Karaoke. It's just something funny that it kind of helps release some stress for me. I love it. And it's just funny and silly, but I've just really grown into a very confident, successful woman. And I connected with Sarah, and I was like, we need to talk about this, because so many women that I speak to on a weekly basis do not feel confident in who they are.
Yep, same. So You can also go find Vicki. All of her information is in the show notes. If you want to follow her on Instagram, you can click the link there. And she's in every episode. All of her information is in every single episode. So you don't even have to go find a Confident Corner episode. She's linked in every single episode since our very first episode together. So, and then there's also a link to buy if you're looking to peruse what she has. She's super helpful with anything that you might need or questions you might have. So connect with her on Instagram and then go check out her link to buy. Yep. So we're going to start off with this episode with a little quote thing of one of our many things that we talk about. So go ahead.
So I found this quote. I follow this woman. I think it's a woman. I mean, I'm assuming so, but it's called She Inspires Strength is her Instagram handle. And this was one that I sent Sarah, and it says, a powerful woman is someone who converts fears into confidence, setbacks into comebacks, excuses into decisions, mistakes into learning. And I was like, that is powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is how I think true confidence is actually honestly created. So one thing that we talk about, Vicki took notes. I took notes. Vicki has her notes, but they're minimal and my notes are just missing.
I've been a horrible note taker since high school. Like in college, I'd be like, yeah, let's get all like fresh notebooks and new pens, go into class, and I would barely use any paper. Like I'm horrible at notes.
That's called a dopamine hit, guys, right there. Just like, I'm going to get I'm going to get all these cute little notebooks and these fun little pens and then do nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Not an action taker when it comes to note taking. So, but what we want to talk about though, there is the fact that we had wrote down this thing called confidence in numbers, and we're like, what does that mean? What were we trying to talk about?
Do you guys ever like write notes down and you're like, what the fuck did I mean by that?
Yeah, that's often actually. You should see my notes here. It's like a word off to the side, in quotation marks, all this random shit. But, so we finally kind of figured it out, and we're talking about taking notes here what's it called? I'm getting a phone call right now and it's completely distracted me.
It's okay. It's life. This is life.
I'm pretty sure I missed my child's dental appointment Friday.
Oh, crap.
Whoops. Oh, well, we'll have to reschedule that one. Anyways, I'm pretty sure that's what I'm getting right now. So anyway, so we were talking about like confidence in numbers, and we kind of figured out, this is what we were really talking about. And we're going to talk about it in a multitude of different ways. We're going to start first by talking about like the scale and your clothes and the numbers, what they mean, and where our self-worth comes from when it comes to those things.
Right.
So go ahead. You go, girl.
Well, being in the clothing business and helping size women, I mean, I'm very, very good at helping women find pieces that work for them based on their sizing and their shape. And I feel like a lot of women get wrapped up in the size that they are. But I've always told women, it doesn't matter the size on the clothing. If it's, a size 8 or a 12, or you have to buy a double XL, all it matters is how it makes you feel when you put it on and how it looks. And it doesn't matter. Rip the fucking tag off.
Right. Nobody's walking around.
No one's going to know that you're wearing a size 14 jean when sometimes maybe you need to wear a size 10 jean, because you all know, ladies, right? Jeans all fit fucking different.
Yeah. Old Navy
I have
versus Target.
I have a size 14 jean, and then some jeans I wear a size 10.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. That's the whole point. It doesn't matter what the number is. And it's been so ingrained in us ever since childhood that you can only be a certain size, or this is appropriate. I mean, fucking Marilyn Monroe, she was a size 12 or 14. And look how beautiful she was and curvy. Yeah. And like I posted in my Instagram a couple days ago, or maybe it was yesterday, just about how I was looking in the mirror and I was like, I fucking love my curves. I've worked really hard to accept it. I've been working out and losing fat and gaining strength and muscle. And I was like, I love what I see. And my weight, I told this to Sarah too, is that my weight has stayed the same for months and months and months, but I know that I don't want to say thinner per se, because I hate when people say like fat or thin.
Composition is different.
Yeah. The how the body shape has changed.
Yeah. Composition.
Right. The composition. So, it's just, it feels, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders in a sense. I don't have to worry about, I don't even weigh myself. I don't even worry about the size that I'm wearing or what the number says on the scale, because I just know how I feel and when I look in the mirror, right. That's where the self-worth comes from versus basing it on the number of my jeans
or on the scale. Even.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's where when I started really strength training and going kind of into the lifting, and while losing fat, there was a lot of like weird things that I would be like, okay, well, my jeans are too big. I have to go get a new pair of jeans. And then I was starting to go into sizes that I had never been in before. Mm-hmm. Like I don't even think at 13 I was a size 4 pant, like let alone here I am like 35, like the best shape of my life that I've ever been in. And I'm like, oh, I can put on a size 4. Oh, okay. That's like, what the fuck, mm-hmm. Like when did this happen? And then when I gained my weight back when I hired a coach and I gained 30 pounds in about 3 months, and all of a sudden I can't fit in those clothes anymore. I'm like, motherfuck, because I had gotten rid of a lot of my bigger sized clothes because I was like, oh, I'm never going back there. Well, life changed. And so that was kind of like a really hard piece to accept. Is like, man, I know that I can be in those clothes, but then again, it's like, but I'm not comfortable in those clothes right now. They don't fit me appropriately right now. So it's like, I have to do something. And really at the end of the day, does it matter? No. It took me a second to like accept that that's where I had gotten myself again. And it's not like I had gained all my weight back, but it was just like, quote unquote, not where I wanted or not where I was and not all these things. And I was like, ooh, then I got some judgment for myself, some shame, some guilt. I felt bad. I'm like, what's wrong with me? I thought I wasn't going to do this. And then there I went and did it. And, and so, at the end of the day, nobody's walking around with a necklace or number on their chest that says, this is the size clothes I wear, and this is how much I weigh. And it's not like you walk up to somebody and you go, hi, I'm so-and-so. How much do you weigh? What size are your pants?
Or even introducing yourself as like, hi, I'm Vicki. I'm 5'6", and I won't tell you how much I weigh, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not saying that out loud because it doesn't fucking matter.
Right.
But we put so much, women especially put so much value of, like, it holds so much power of how we feel about ourselves. Mm-hmm. And like, it's something I just want to like debunk, because it just doesn't, I mean, you should care about, I don't want to say, to weigh 300 pounds and be unhealthy, but I'm also saying like, I don't want you to I don't want people to value their who they are as a person based on what that number says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I've done that. I've been that girl.
Yep. Many years. Yeah. I was that girl. Where it's like, I don't have to like the number. I can want to be better. I can want to improve. I can want to do things differently. I don't have to enjoy it. But I also don't have to make it mean something about who I am as a person.
Right.
And that's what we are so accustomed to doing, because if we don't look a certain way, if we don't dress a certain way, if we don't wear a certain size clothes, if we don't do these things, society looks at us and says, oh, you're this. And then you're labeled as this thing. Mm-hmm. Right. So it's just like understanding, like, and here's the other thing too. We always talk about like you would never, like, I would never walk up to you and say like, oh my God, like, how much do you weigh? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, what the fuck is your problem? Right. But yet we would look at ourselves in a mirror and be like, what the fuck is your problem? Like, what's wrong with you? Mm-hmm. We would talk to ourselves that way, but like, you would go meet somebody new, or you would have a really great friend with somebody, and it's like, they don't really care what the fuck you weigh. They don't care.
Something
but
I
you
saw on
care.
Instagram that's like that, and I feel like I saved it, but it was something to the fact that speak kindly to yourself. Like, would you talk to your friend or your best friend or your sister the way that you think or talk to yourself? Because how you talk to yourself holds so much weight of how you feel every day to day. Yeah. It's such a
it's way more powerful than what your internal conversation with yourself is a lot bigger than what people think it is. Like, it's so much bigger. I wake up, I'm a avid scale weigher girl. I weigh every day, especially right now. And sometimes I look at that and go, what the fuck? Like, what am I? Oh, I did everything right. Just like we all do, right? Like, I did everything right, and the scale didn't move or whatever. But the confidence piece for me doesn't come from that number. Then it's like, okay, how do I go and execute today? Like, now what do I do? What action do I take today to get me where I actually want to go? And it's not about saying, oh, that number, it did, I talked about this and I feel like we might have touched on this, but I do so many podcasts. I don't fucking know. It might've been just a solo podcast, but like, it's like when we do something right, we expect the scale to reward us. Right? Like I went and worked out today. The scale didn't go down. I ate my macros today. The scale didn't go down. I didn't eat any sugar today and the scale didn't go down. And then it's like, I've always had the experience where every time I do something perfectly, quote unquote, like I hit my macros and I nailed my steps and my water and all that. And the scale does not do what it wanted to do. And then it's like, okay, well, it's Pizza Wednesday. So I'm gonna have pizza. Then the next day, boom, there goes the scale. All right. So it's validation that just because you do everything, quote unquote, the right way, the scale doesn't owe you shit. Like we are looking to the scale to give us the reward that we're looking for when really that's not where the reward comes from.
Mm-hmm. So then I have a question for you this time. How does one use the scale then for a woman to weigh themselves and be like, oh, fuck, I shouldn't weigh that. So instead of ruminating and getting depressed about it, how do we use the number on the scale to then like inspire us to take the fucking action to get where you want to be?
Mm-hmm. So I would ask the same question. I'm going to ask a question back is, what do you do with your bank account? Well, do you ruminate or do you take action?
To put money in?
Yeah.
Well, I do fucking work to get it in, right?
Right.
Oh, that means it sounds sexual. Sorry.
Hey.
That's where my brain goes.
So, yes, that's the whole thing is again, you don't have to like the data point that you're getting. Like, I don't like it
when I have $20 in my bank
account. Correct. When you go to the grocery store and it says declined.
Or if I went negative, shit.
Like that's not a great feeling, right? So what do you do?
Yeah, you take the action and the steps to make the money to get it in there.
Right. So it's the same concept, right? So it's understanding and learning how to use the scale as a form, as a tool of measurement, as a data point that it's going to give us information. Then what do we do with that information? See, that's where I think people don't continue. They just get the information. They go, this scale was so mean to me today. And this was me for 32 years. Like I'm not any different, right, than most women, right? Okay, so cry about it, have your little tantrum fucking fit. And then it's like, what do you do then? What do you do with your information that you're receiving? If you don't fucking like it, what is the step to do something? What are you going to do about it? That's where I think people get hung up and they don't, again, do the action piece.
Right.
And then we lose the confidence.
And here we are. January 1st is right around the corner, and this is a huge month of people. I got to get back in the gym. I got to get, yeah, that kind of thing. And so that kind of goes hand in hand with what we're talking about, because I know people are out there thinking about, what my New Year's health resolutions. I got to change this. I want to do this or that. And I'm sure that Sarah hears that all the time, or has been recently, because she's in that world.
Yes. Stay away from the supplement slingers, guys.
Yes.
That is not going to get you new year, new you. Okay.
I can get you new gear for your new you. New leggings for sure.
Make you feel confident, make you feel good.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I think that, it's just, yes, there's a lot of what I'm seeing right now, even in just my gym, I'm seeing a lot of people come in, a lot of people get memberships, a lot of people, but again, what do you do with it? What do you do with it once you have it? If you don't take the action, then you lose the confidence, because the confidence comes from the action. It doesn't come from the reward of what it gives you. It comes from doing the thing. It doesn't come from the thing that you get afterward.
Right. So it comes from, as we've said, getting uncomfortable. I'm sure there are so many people. I mean, I would even be nervous to go into a gym and go to the weights by myself. I would have no fucking clue what I'm doing, and I would feel like everyone's watching me.
Yeah.
And that's uncomfortable. And I'm sure a lot of women feel that way, maybe even men too. But like if I were to go into the gym, I would want Sarah with me because I'd be like, I need like a buddy.
I mean, I have a guest pass free.
But also too, I feel like people, and as I've been there, like you go gung ho, you do it for maybe a month or two, and then March comes, and then people probably stop.
January 19th.
Oh, it only takes a couple of weeks.
January 19th. is the doomsday.
Stops. The doomsday.
That is the average of what somebody makes it on a New Year's resolution.
Wow. Where'd you hear that?
It's just data that comes from, whatever.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So it's right around January 19th, January 20th, January 21st, right in that frame.
Like 3 weeks or so.
2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because most people go in, I literally put this on my story today. Most people go in raw dogging it. Okay. They fucking don't have a goddamn plan. Sure. There's no fucking plan.
Okay.
I'm just going to do everything. I'm going to overhaul my whole fucking life. And you're almost taking too much action at that point. It becomes so hard and overwhelming. So I do everything I do is very slow and methodical, and people are like, oh, this feels like I'm not doing anything. But then they realize, because
maybe people feel like they need to go like balls to the walls.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. And so they end up raw dogging it, and then you get 2 to 3 weeks in, and then you can't do it anymore.
Right. It's not sustainable.
Yeah. It's you got,
or you're not seeing the change that you think that you should see because you have been going so hard.
Expectations.
And then you're like, well, fuck this. I'm not seeing what I want to see.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's just a matter of understanding, like, number one, it should never be new year, new me, but we can improve who we are.
Right.
Like I'm all about like new year, like different me.
I know. I don't like that new me either.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you shouldn't be new. You should be improving who you are as a person. Right. Like,
right.
But I think so, kind of going back to encompassing all of this with the new year and, doing things differently, and even just understanding how to use things as a tool, as a data point. It's just a matter of, again, learning. It's giving yourselves different experiences, different ways of doing things that you've never done before, right? Not quitting was something that I'd never done before. I'd always quit. Like, that was just my MO. I'd quit by Thursday because I raw dogged the shit out of it. And I'm like, I'm not eating sugar. I'm not eating carbs. I'm not doing this. I'm going to exercise for 42 hours this week. And it's like, that's so, I'm not trying to be mean, but it's so dumb when you look at it logically. Like, how does that make sense in your life? It doesn't, which is why it's not sustainable, which is why you can't keep going forever like that. And then you're like, then again, it takes down your confidence. It lowers your self-worth. It lowers what you think you are capable of. It makes you feel like you don't deserve it. Like, oh, see, I am just broken. Nobody can fix me. I'm not fixable. Like, all these things, and you don't really need to be fixed. You have the value, you have the worth. You just lack the fucking knowledge and experience to get yourself there.
Right. The realisticness.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then you can start spiraling.
Yeah.
And then you just fall into the
it's
the
fucking
black hole.
Wild.
Yeah.
People, and again, I'm speaking from I speak from a place of, I've been there, I've done that. I got the t-shirt, I wore the t-shirt, all the things. Like, this is coming from a place of, I get it because I've been there and I did it for so many years, so many different ways. Like,
so for me, I do group fitness. So I do workout classes at Jazzercise, and I'm sure that people probably think Jazzercise is stupid, but come to a workout and you can see how fucking hard it is. And there's different kinds of classes and whatnot. But I started that 5 years ago in December, actually. And before that, I was the up and down girl. Okay,
she was raw dogging it.
Yeah, I was like, I'm going to go on my elliptical. I'm going to do this in my basement. I didn't join a gym. I think I did a gym with my husband, like back when we were joking about this. We were remember Bally's?
Yep.
When we first started dating, and we would go for a while, and that lasted maybe a couple months, and then that was it. Because I feel like having, what made a difference for me was having like a community and having a place to go that I felt comfortable in, and it was fun and exciting. So I think you need to like find something that, inspires you and makes you feel excited to go to it, So if that is going to the gym with a friend for a while to get your confidence up.
Correct.
Going to those first classes, and there are gyms that have, workout like classes and things like that. I was nervous at first, not sure what to do and I don't know how to dance or do those kinds of things, but over the time, my confidence built. And now sometimes I even join the instructors on stage and do the routine. in front of 20 to 30 women.
Right.
Because it's fun. And I've, built that confidence up because I've consistently gone over and over and over for 5 years. And I feel
she knows every jazzercise dance that exists.
No, I don't, because they come up with new ones all the time. But it's super fun and exciting. And my point being is that I found something that works for me, and helped me find a love for exercise. Mm-hmm. And when I don't go, I don't feel great. Mm-hmm. And it's not about me feeling like I feel fat or something. It's something that makes me it's like a dopamine hit. It's endorphins.
Yes.
It makes me feel good. I love to sweat. I love to do weights. I love to, and love to be around the woman that I'm working out with. And that's a huge part of it.
Yeah.
So I feel like women need to find something that works for them in terms of, how they're going to feel comfortable with those exercises that they do.
Yeah. But I also want to encourage people that if you are a person that's like, well, I like the community and I like the group classes.
Yeah.
I think that's great. But then find a fucking community and get in something. Because I feel like a lot of women too, again, it's the lack of action. It's like, well, I don't want to go to the gym because I'm uncomfortable. Okay.
But then also too,
what the fuck do you want to do then?
About it too is when you go in, everyone else is worried about themselves.
Yeah.
No one is looking at you.
No.
And if there is a guy looking at you, maybe he's looking at you because he loves your ass.
Yeah.
And
we had this conversation actually yesterday. My husband was off and we actually went to the gym together, which is a rarity right now. And we were sitting.
Fun.
Yes. And we were sitting in the truck and I was like, oh, the old guy's here. That one old guy. And my husband's like, what's wrong with that old guy? I was like, he just stares at the women. He just stares at all women. It's super fucking annoying. It's like, I don't even know if he stares at me because I'm not watching him look at me, but I am watching him look at other women. Right. So we were in two different squat racks. I was doing one thing, he was doing something else. And I was like, okay. And so then he walks over to me. He's like, I see what you're talking about, because he's absolutely staring at you right now. And I was like, yeah. And it does make me, I don't want to say it makes me uncomfortable because, again, I've been going to this particular gym now for over 3 years. I've been in the gym now for 8 years. And people are going to look, women look at other women. Yeah. Women stare at other women. Uh-huh. Okay. Sometimes it's out of wow, that's pretty fucking badass, or dude, she's crushing it. Or I feel like a lot of times as women are looking at, I will sometimes say that at my gym, it's, we call it Floozy Friday, where the titties are all hanging out everywhere. Uh-huh. And I'm like, I don't understand why titties have to be out literally all over the place. But hey, there's almost nipples showing and shit. It's a little excessive. Okay. So yeah, it's is that a nipple? I can't tell. See a nipple? I can't tell if that's a nipple or what's going on there. So I do stare. There's times that I stare at other women. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Right? Anyways, the point that I'm making is that yes, there can be moments that are uncomfortable. Sure. And people might look at you. You might go into a group fitness class and people might look at you, right? At the end of the day, the only person that you're there for is your fucking self. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's it. Right. And you want to know what? If people are going to look, they're going to look. And if it ain't you they're looking at, they're going to look at somebody else. And if, you know what I'm saying? So it's just
and the more that you do it, the more that you go and you get over those feelings and you just start to accept it, then it becomes more comfortable.
Yeah. And it's me personally, I'm not sitting here saying oh, it's appropriate for people to stare or for people to
that's
judge.
Human nature.
It is.
You can judge someone in 3 seconds.
Yeah. It is human nature. Yeah. Absolutely. That's to sit here and say that people aren't going to look at other people, that's abnormal. Then you're also in a gym where people are doing different things. Hey, maybe I'm doing something differently than some woman has ever done it before. And she's like, how does she do that? And then you're watching technique. And there's been times that I watched, I'm like, oh, that's a different movement. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let me think about that.
I think we automatically think that when someone's looking at us, they're negatively judging. And that's,
or being inappropriate.
Why do we do that? Why do we think that?
Yeah. The old man at the gym, he's definitely inappropriate. I'm not going to lie. Right. But on a whole, I can't tell you the countless times that I have had men come up to me and are like, dude, you're fucking badass. Dude, you fucking kill it in here.
That's awesome.
Dude, you fucking whatever, right? And that isn't me getting all like, oh no, that means they're watching me. It's like, that's right? When guys come over to me and ask me for a lift off or ask me for a spot, they've been watching me to know, like,
sure,
there's 14 other dudes out on this floor that you could have asked for a spot. You asked me, maybe that's weird. Maybe some people, I think it's fucking cool.
Right. Well, you're not taking it as like dirty.
They're hitting
or
on me.
Hitting on, and maybe they are, and then
right.
Like,
well,
okay, sure, go ahead.
Like whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. That exactly. And then my husband, who, if you know my husband, which most of you know at least about him, but he's like super not like, he's super like, yep, go ahead and look at my wife.
Yeah,
yep,
exactly.
Go ahead. So then I had a pair of pants on yesterday. He's like, I don't know if those are what do you call it? I don't know if those are public appropriate. I don't know if you should be wearing those in public. I'm like, what? We're not becoming that guy. He's like, no. That's a compliment. And I was like, oh, okay.
He's basically like, your butt looks great in those.
Yes, exactly. He's like, so then I was doing the exercise yesterday and then he came over to me and he was like, I just want to let you know, you should really be tipped over a little bit more. Like you're too a little upright. But he's like, but I could understand if you don't really want to bend over right now with old man back there. You know, I was like, I don't really give a shit. He's going to look.
Sure.
Whether I'm partially bent over or all the way bent over, it doesn't fucking matter, you know? And again, like he would never tell me like, you're not allowed to wear that. Like, that's not his MO. That was his way of telling me like, that's a compliment for me. Right. So again, that's a confidence thing. When somebody asks me for a spot, that's a confidence thing, but I don't care if people watch me. I don't care. Right. And when I'm watching, especially women, I will always compliment another woman. Be like, dude, you're fucking killing it in here.
Yeah.
Like you're absolutely kicking ass. Because that's what I think that we need as women. And there's not many women in my gym on my floor. Like if you watch my Instagram stories, which you don't follow me, you should. I will literally talk about, like yesterday was the only female on the gym floor. That was it. There were probably 15 dudes and me, right? That is a confidence boost. The fact that I lift heavier than half the guys that are on the floor, that's a confidence boost.
Sure.
Right? But it doesn't come from me going, well, I really wish I could do that. Well, we're going to move into this.
Yeah.
I really wish I could. Or that's for somebody else, but not for me. But even though I really want that thing.
Oh, it's nice for her.
Must be nice.
It must be nice. That's what it is. Must be nice.
Must be nice. So let's talk about the whole like wanting things, but not doing. Because how many times have you talked to somebody? I know I've talked to somebody. I really want to lose weight, but I'm going to think about it. I literally, on my Facebook yesterday, was it yesterday? I think I posted this, and I either get a lot of really great, feedback on things that hurt people's feelings, or I get nothing. This one specifically, I did not get. I did not get a lot. It's probably because it got buried in the algorithm because people didn't comment on it. Yeah. But it was crazy how it went from quote, I'll do anything to quote, I'll do anything that doesn't make me uncomfortable or require an investment. And that's what I posted because we can want and we can think about things for a long time. But if you actually want to be confident in the thing that you desire to have, you had better fucking do. The difference between those of us that get where we want to go and you're watching women or people have the things that you want to have is action, is the do part that nobody wants to do because it's fucking hard. You know? What's your experience with that?
I mean, me personally, in like the social selling aspect of building a business and finding a niche and figuring out a way to, create a community, create connections, and build this for over 5 years so that I could be a stay-at-home mom and work from home and do all the things that I want to do with this line that I sell. We have this saying, and I was telling Sarah about this in my world because she had something similar. It's called post and pray. And what that means is that you just post about what you're maybe, there's a lot of people out there listening probably that sell something, right? And you just post about it. And then nothing happens. you might get a few likes maybe, which we're going to dive into that too, about likes and all that kind of stuff. But what happens is if you don't get the feedback that you want on what you're sharing, it might make you feel like you're not good enough, right? You're not where you're supposed to. You shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be selling this product or whatever it is in my world. And where the change happens and the successful part of it is being consistent in your actions and making the connections. And that is a huge part of why I've become so successful, is because I take that time and that effort to show up every single day and be authentic in what I share and make those connections and relationships. And I think that that's a huge part of how people can become successful in the social media world, which we're going to dive into as well, about that, about like confidence and, you know, what you want. You could want to, you know, make $2,000 a month or $5,000 a month selling something, but okay, so how are you going to get there? You can want it all you want. I wanted that 5 years ago too. So I've taken the steps every single day over the past 5 years to get to that point where I can make the money that I want to make.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the same concept. It's, you know, for us, I want to lose 35 pounds.
I think it's interesting that we can kind of look at this on both spectrums, where she's looking at more of like a health and wellness, like exercise and weight side of things. And now I'm here coming in on like more of like a business aspect, but also as a woman who deals with weight issues and had like, so it's kind of like, I love how we can kind of bring this all together, because I feel like it kind of covers like different worlds. You know what I'm trying to say?
Well, and I often talk a lot of parallel between running my business and losing weight, right?
Right.
It's like the same shit.
I guess it would be for me too.
It's the same thing. The same shit that I did to lose 80 pounds and maintain the weight loss is the same shit I need to be doing in my business. It's the basics. It's showing up consistently. It's not getting caught up like in the business realm of like, oh, I'm going to try this little quick thing over here or this little quick thing over here. It's like your little fad diets that you try instead of just sticking to the fucking basics, right? Just like when you're talking about using the scale as a data point, right? How does one do that? It's the same way you do it in your business. They're called KPIs. Are you tracking how many conversations are you having?
Right.
How many people are clicking on your shit? How many people are like, all the things that are happening? How many times are you posting per week? How many like all of that stuff, it translates into what action step do I do? Just like in your health. Okay. So the scale is continuously going up. Well, I'm going to tell you this, you're not in a calorie deficit. So then what's your actionable step? To fucking figure out what am I doing that's preventing me from being in a calorie deficit, if that's the way I want to go. And so a lot of that is, it's very paralleled. It's very like everything that I learned that I had to do in my health and wellness journey, I had to replicate in my business to make it a sustainable, repeatable, consistent income for me. That is what I've had to do.
Right.
You don't get around it. And again, like in my one-on-one, and even in my group coaching, Fat Loss Basics, if you're not signed up yet, you should. And even my group coaching program, if the very last question is like, what is your actionable step this week? And what are you going to do to make it happen? It doesn't, again, raw dogging shit is not going to get you where you want to go, whether you're business, whether you're health, whether you're trying to get promoted in your job, like in your relationships. It doesn't fucking matter. Like what is the thing that you want and desire? And then what are you going to fucking do to get there?
Yeah.
I want to drink 100 ounces of water this week.
Shit, I should.
How are you planning on making that happen? I want to track all my food this week. I'm going to buy one of those
really large water bottles and carry it around with me. There's this whole thing I'm sure you've seen Instagram reels about people making fun of like the huge water bottles.
Eat your protein. Oh, the huge, no.
Oh, you haven't? It's
No.
hilarious. Okay. Maybe there will be some now because Instagram's always listening.
It's always.
I mean, in terms of like health and wellness and weight and confidence and how women feel, I mean, I get that all the time within my world too. When I'm helping size women and style women, and I'll have women say to me, well, I'm gonna, I don't know if I can get that right now. I need to lose some weight. And like, then it reminds me of those things that like, I'm sure we all have that pair of jeans that we've saved in our closet for that one magical day when you'll be able to wear them again. And my thing has always been, if you haven't worn it in a fucking year, get rid of that shit.
Yeah.
Because what is that one pair of jeans doing for you?
Keeping you stuck.
It's making you also feel like shit.
Yeah, because it's keeping you stuck.
I have a pair of gray jeans that I bought, and they're a size I always wear, but for some odd reason, they're cut differently, and they're just a little too tight for my liking. I've still saved them, and every now and then I try them on just to see if like they're could be a little bit looser and not so tight where I feel like I can't breathe. Mm-hmm. And I've come to the point now where I've had them for a year, and I'm like, you know what? I see the gray jeans in the closet folded, and I just look at them, and it just makes me kind of feel shitty. So I think I'm just going to sell them or get rid of them or donate them because it's not serving me any positive. It's not giving me, those jeans aren't giving me positive vibes.
Well, yeah, right, correct.
I wanted the jeans to be like, yes, I'm going to fit you. I'm going to make your ass look great, and you're going to feel great in those jeans.
Right.
And it's, and so I don't know where I'm going with that, but I just feel like sometimes we put a lot of value again on the number, on, clothing. So as a New Year goal, ladies, as the New Year is here, go in your closet and get rid of shit that you haven't worn or that makes you feel bad.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't fucking matter what size it is. If it looks good and makes you feel good, and if it doesn't, then get rid of it.
Yeah.
We kind of took a turn there, but my brain went there thinking about those jeans.
She's like, I have to talk about these jeans.
I'm going to go home and try them on one more time.
And then they're gone. If they don't fit,
exactly.
They're out. Yeah, I think that's important. Something that's something I've done is I've held on to my clothes from when I was my quote unquote smallest, in hopes that I'm going to get back to some semblance of that. And I talk a lot about Mission 180 and what I'm trying to do there. And it's a slow fucking go. But that's okay. Like I'm okay with it. Like the last 8 weeks in my house have been absolute disastrous with people being sick. It was just like November 1st came.
Life is happening around you. And sometimes we have to, there's a fuzz, adjust, Yeah. And that's okay.
Yeah. So it's just a little slower than I'd like it to be. I want my fucking caramel ice cap from Tim Hortons that I can't have yet. My daughter gets one, and I'm like,
so what is this exactly? So you have a goal of like, once you hit some type of goal, you can have
180 pounds.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm still not there. I'm not even really close to it. I'm closer than I was when I started in July. Hey,
that's positive.
There we go.
Yeah.
Right. So it's keeping me focused, but, we have spring break coming up. So all you bitches out there 2 weeks before spring break that are going, I need to lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks. No, you start now. Start today. You don't wait till January 1st or the first Monday or the first whatever. Just fucking start. Like just, you could be 5 to 10 pounds down by the time March comes if you just fucking take action. Stop wanting it. Stop thinking about it. Stop wondering. Oh, just fucking do something. It doesn't like, I don't want to say there's right and wrong. There are right and wrong things to do, but like try something out. Do it for 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. If it doesn't work, shift. Try something different. Join Fat Loss Basics. I can help you get there. And you can go to Vicki and get all your fan fucking-tastic clothes and feel good about it.
Right. Having, a pair of jeans, for example, maybe that you had when you were 30 and you can't wear them now. Well, now we're in our 40s, ladies, and things, change. Our bodies shift. The composition of how our bodies are shaped are different. And we've talked about that in a previous episode of just like embracing what's happening as you're getting older. And I've been doing that and taking the action and the steps to create a healthy lifestyle. Even if I have, fat in places that I don't necessarily like.
Well, and I think I just recently did my own podcast on this about, going after the dopamine. And we can look at that all throughout the things that we're talking about, right? Dopamine, getting it from the scale, dopamine, getting it from a new pair of pants, dopamine or new size, right? Dopamine from getting a like or a follow or a share on Instagram or Facebook or whatever it is, or a comment, right? It's all the dopamine. And we keep looking for that. That's why women start. That's why January comes. It's like new year, new me.
Yeah.
This is so amazing. It's a dopamine hit. The reality is that doesn't last.
Sure.
It doesn't. It's not. The dopamine wears off. So what happens when the dopamine wears off of you? Like, what happens when it goes away? Everyone's like, I don't have the motivate. How do I get motivated? You don't get motivated. You don't get motivated to go do shit. There's no such thing.
We've talked about, I've seen you post, like, I didn't want to, you're like sitting in your car, like, I don't want to go into the gym right now. But
that was this morning.
You still do it, right?
Yeah. I was like so excited, like over the weekend to get back into the gym and feeling really good and all things. And I took Christmas off and I didn't go to the gym on Christmas. And I was like, yeah, I'm feeling really great. And then this morning I was like, woof. And that was within 24 hours. I was like, man, I'm really struggling to walk my happy ass into the gym.
Yeah.
But then I just did it.
Well, we put a little note on there too about like self-worth and how all of that stuff, the numbers of the scale, the number of your pants, looking at the pair of pants that you haven't worn in 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years, whatever it is, or even starting a workout plan and then quitting after 3 weeks because you're not seeing the changes that you want to see. That all of the part is about how you feel about yourself and your self-value and self-worth. And I feel like we just put so much onto that. It's like, give yourself some fucking grace. You're a human being. Like, you've had sickness in your house for 2 months.
Yes.
Non-fucking
stop.
And I'm sure other moms have been dealing with that too, and their kids and this and that.
And life
is still happening around you, but you also have to make yourself a priority.
Yeah.
Because especially as a mom, when you go down, the fucking ship sinks. So,
yeah,
that's another shift that I did about a year or so ago. Is I started making myself more of a priority. Yeah,
boundaries, saying no to things, saying yes to yourself, saying all sorts of things. Like it all matters. It's all encompassing. And I want to go back to your comment where you're like, oh, and you try something for like 3 weeks and then you stop. Come back after 3 years and then tell me you don't see some change. Then tell me you're not seeing a shift. Then tell me that you have just as little confidence as you had as when you first started. Because I'm going to tell you you're wrong. Because 3 years at doing something, even if it's quote unquote subpar, barely, maybe it's not the quote unquote the best thing or the right thing.
Or maybe you had a pause and something happened in your life. Maybe someone passed away. Maybe a job change. Maybe something happened that caused you to stop for a moment.
Yeah.
But the point is, did you get back up again?
Yeah.
And that is like that quote about the setbacks. What was it?
Failures into learning.
Or like setbacks turn into comebacks. That's what it was.
Yeah. I mean, and I think, this is actually, I'm talking about that soon on a podcast. I don't know. Is skills. Like, I don't think people realize like that getting healthy is actually multiple skill sets. Sure. It's not just show up and like you should know how to do this, right? You didn't know how to tie your shoes. You didn't know how to walk. You didn't know how to do geometry at some point or long division. You didn't know how to spell. You didn't know how to write your name. You didn't know how to do all these things.
Sure.
And imagine just like being like, oh, I can't do it. I quit. Where would you be right now if that was just the mentality that you continued to have? You didn't have that when you were 3. You didn't have that mentality when you were 5. You're like, no, I'm going to fucking ride my damn bike. I'm going to fucking figure out how to ride my fucking bike because I want to go ride around with my friends. I know it's like not as popular today, but like when we were kids.
Because people are you're fearful. We're so fearful of a lot of things. Yeah. Fearful of putting yourself out there. Fearful of being uncomfortable. Fearful of being judged. And when you just do it fucking scared anyways. Literally. I mean, I'm scared a lot of times too. And I have to go live and I have to do videos and I have to show myself and do all these things because I am creating this business in this community and inspiring women with who I am. But it's not always fucking easy.
No. It's doing it anyway. So literally, this was my post this morning. Riding the struggle bus today to get in here. Crazy how quickly it can turn into 24 hours. And then my next, I hate Instagram. Okay, there's way too much going on. And then my next slide is, but the easiest thing I can do for myself when it's hard is to just fucking move. I don't have to want to. I don't have to have motivation. I don't have to like it. Do it anyways.
Yeah.
And then that's what I put. Some of you are already raw dogging into 2025 and it shows.
Yeah, because after you do it, then that helps build your confidence because you still showed up anyways and got it done, even though you didn't want to.
And you know what? You take that, what they're talking about in that, like turning failure into learning, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you show up and maybe it didn't go how you thought.
Sure.
Maybe you're like, oh my God, that live was fucking terrible. Like, I'm really trying to get on TikTok. I won't even lie.
Isn't it ending soon?
I don't fucking know what's going on with it. I don't really care. I have tried so hard to get on TikTok and go live, and I get very discouraged because I get like 14 people that like swipe by my ass. Like, it's just like, oh, bye. Oh, I don't want to listen to that bitch talk, you know? So it's like, I can see people have like watched me for like 3.4 seconds and then they scroll on by. Like, it gives you that information.
It does. It gives you that breakdown. Ooh, yeah.
That's hard to go back on. I haven't done a live on TikTok in a long time. I actually recently did a live on Instagram, which I haven't done in forever.
I did that one time and maybe twice, and I haven't done it since.
We should have lived we should have lived this on Instagram.
We can when we're done, maybe.
How?
Oh, well.
Because we're recording. I can't do it.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, duh.
She's like, when we're done, we could do it all over again. We could do all this again.
But it wouldn't be as authentic and real.
It wouldn't. Yeah.
None of this is edited.
No.
Nope.
So, I mean, I guess like the point I'm making is like, what can you learn? Like, instead of looking at it as like I failed, it's like, what can I learn and what could I do better? Like, how can I do things differently to make it better the next time? Just like you would tell your kid. Like, oh, maybe you got a C on a test. Okay, how do we change that next time if you want to do better? Now, if you don't want to do better, then fucking move on. Don't like dwell on the fact that you did really shitty on something or that you didn't complete something or that you didn't take action doing something the way you wanted to if you don't actually want to do better. But if you want to do better, it's like, what can I learn? And that's where like KPIs and data and all the things, if you can look at it objectively and go, okay, this is how it went, but it's not what I wanted. Like, I do that with my launch. Like, okay, I'm looking at email open, email click. How many women am I getting in? All this stuff. It's like, okay, if it's not what I want, how do I change it to do better next time? Sure. If I wanted more women, I want 10.
You're using it as a tool to make changes to improve.
Right. And that's what you do for your health too.
Right. Versus shame and guilt and
value
and spiraling into the black hole of doubt.
And it's there.
Yeah. So that kind of goes into how we were talking about social media before this, about how, as I know that so many people out there, I'm sure, are, trying to create some type of social media account, a following, even if it's just for fun or a business. Social selling has become a huge way of people earning income. I'm sure you guys, your Instagrams are filled with ads and people doing reviews or Amazon influencers and influencing and all those kind of things to make money. Yeah. I never got into that, thank God. But
I bet you do really well at it.
God, it's like another freaking social media platform to like focus on. It seems overwhelming, but yeah. So we were talking about how we put a lot of value and self-worth into, because social media is just in our faces all the time. I'm on social media every single day. It's how I run my business. And I used to be so worried about, okay, well, how many views did that get? How many plays did it get? How many likes am I going to get? Who's viewing my story? All those kinds of things. And I would put a lot of value of like, am I embarrassed? Am I embarrassing myself? Like, people don't want to like see what I have to share. They don't like me. And then you start like getting into this, going down that path of how a reaction or even a non-reaction, how much that can affect you from a complete fucking stranger. You don't even know.
Correct.
Who lives half around the world. Who knows where they're from? Why would you put so much value on that to for our own self-worth? And I think it's a big part of the society now. And because so many people are on social media, and maybe creating a business or just doing it for fun. Like I said, there's a lot of different fun accounts out there, but no matter what, like when I started my Instagram in the beginning, I didn't have the following I have now. Obviously it took consistent behaviors and still showing up as myself, and still posting and doing all that kind of stuff, even if I got 3 likes or 2 or 1 or none or whatever it is.
Right. It becomes back to the do it anyways. Do it anyways. And like, I just pulled this up, right? Just to give an idea, like if you don't have if you're not on social media for like a business purpose, right? Yeah.
You probably like a personal account.
Right. You probably don't have necessarily all the data, and maybe you don't even know where to look or how to find it, right? But you can literally get data on your posts, like how many views, how many interactions, your profile activity, views from followers, view from non-followers, like your views over a longer period of time, the amount of counts that you have reached, your likes, your saves, your shares, how many people have visited your profile based on that one specific post. Your reels, it'll tell you how long people have watched for, when they fall off. And it's a lot of data that can make you feel a lot of certain ways, right? Yeah. Like I have some videos and whatnot. I have some reels that get 1,500 views. I have some reels that get 6,000 views, 2,000 views. And then I have other ones that get 68.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have some that I've had like over millions of views, or 60,000 likes and things like that. And then I'll do one that's maybe more authentic, or me like doing like a style review, and it gets like maybe 600 views. So the thing is, like the point I'm making with this, and it seems like because it's so focused on me and what I'm doing, but this is an example of I don't want to get into that black hole of being like, well, maybe I'm not doing what I should be doing. I'm not doing it right. But still show up anyways, even if you feel like that is the case, but it's not the case. Just keep showing up. Just keep doing it. And I started singing in my stories, and there are times where I'll post something in my story and I'll be like, 5 minutes later, I'm like, shit, do I need to delete that? Because I feel totally embarrassed by it. But then I'm like, you know what? It actually gives me more confidence that I even shared it, and it humanizes me. And then it makes, that's the thing, that's what I want to do, because I want people to relate. You want people to relate to who you are. Yeah.
You're actual human.
Yeah. And it's fun and whatever. But, I feel like we just get so worked up about all of these numbers.
Dopamine. Yeah. It's a dopamine. When you get a like, it's a dopamine. Sure. A comment is a dopamine. A share is a dopamine. A number of views is a dopamine. I recently changed on my Instagram. I recently changed my one of my pinned posts, and I was like, "Welcome." This used to say I saw that. I reintroduced myself, right? Mm-hmm. Like every time somebody liked it, I was like, "Ooh."
Yeah, of course we like. I mean, that's human nature. We want people to like what we're sharing. It gives us, it's validating. But I just feel like we shouldn't hold so much weight to it as well. Like there's got to be a happy balance.
Well, and you have to validate yourself. It shouldn't always come from outside. It should also, we've talked about
I want to post this because I want to post it. Yeah. I want to share it because I want to share about who I am or what I'm doing or this or that. And I'm going to do it anyways. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do it anyways. You got anything else? We're like almost an hour in.
Ooh, wow. It's a long one.
I know. Anything else you think?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. Well, you can find Vicki in my show notes and then go find her on Instagram.
Yes.
That's it, I think.
So Happy New Year. I don't know when this is airing.
I don't know either.
So, it'll be in January.
It will be. Yeah.
So Happy New Year, and go into your closet and get rid of clothes you haven't worn in 1 to 2 years, and think of me when you've done it. Find me on Instagram
and tag her.
Do a story or send me a message to be like, I totally cleaned out my closet.
Yeah.
Cleaning out my closet. Is that Eminem or something?
Something.
See, I sing and I'm horrible. Yeah, and follow me and get some laughs and inspiration and
listen to her sing.
Some new leggings for your new workout goals. And then hit up Sarah and she can help you.
Yeah. We'll tag team it.
Yeah, tag team. Have a great new year.
Yeah, you guys. All right. If you enjoyed this, please screenshot and share it. We are literally word of mouth, obviously. So the more that you share, the more we get out there. So if you found any value in this and you think somebody needs to hear it, you need to screenshot, share it, tag us. And you can find us all of our information in the show notes. I hope you guys have a great day and catch you on the next episode.